Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carly and this is the Planted Carly Flower here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me for yet another video. This one's going to be a little bit different. I did ask on Instagram who would be interested in hearing about my weight loss and how plants have encouraged me to change my life around, and I got an overwhelming yes that people wanted this video. I wasn't sure if people wanted me to work my weight loss into this channel. I definitely don't intend to have this take up even a portion of the channel, mostly just check-ins, how I'm feeling, little tidbits here and there, and I thought I would open it up with my weight journey throughout time and how plants have turned me around and helped in my progress of healing. So stick around, grab a drink, and I really hope that you enjoy this. It's going to be a very personal video and it means a lot to me, so thank you so much for watching.
I want to be daring, baby, dance the night away. I let my hair down if I want. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty all the time?
Okay guys, this information is going to be hard to share in a lot of ways. I do not put myself out there at all, typically. I definitely don't share personal information about my body. I don't think you've ever even seen me from the shoulders down. And there's a reason for that. I mean, it's not a, you can see my face, you can see my arms, it's not a secret that I'm bigger. But I do tend to hide the fact that I'm bigger a lot. I'm admitting that now, even though that's hard to admit. So let's start at the beginning. I was not big growing up. I was very thin, and I did not start gaining weight until I was in late teens. I was actually what I would consider pretty underweight. I had some bigger people in my family and I didn't want to end up that way, and it scared me, and I saw the health issues they were having, and I went the opposite way and I ate far too little. When I was a freshman through about junior year of high school, I was probably eating about 1,000 calories a day, if I had to guess. I would eat like a ramen and a little bag of chips, and that would be it for the day. And then the next day I would eat a little bit more. So it would average out to 800 to 1,000 calories a day. And anyone who knows that is not a healthy amount of calories for an adult. I think I got down to 103 pounds, and I was 5 foot, and I'm still 5'3". So I'm kind of on the shorter side of the spectrum. But it wasn't healthy, and eventually I got into a relationship with my high school sweetheart where I started feeling more comfortable in myself and in my life, and I started to like let go of some of those phobias I had about food. And as anyone knows who's dating someone, you guys go out to eat a lot. It's something to do. Both of our families are Hispanic, and anybody who knows, well, his family, he's Hispanic, mine is Mexican or Latino, and anyone who's a family of those kinds knows that everything is centered around the family table. You eat, you have a party, there's tons of food, and I discovered how much I loved food when I had been depriving myself for years against it. And again, I'm one of those do it all the way or don't do it at all kind of people, and I went the other way. I started eating way more than I should have. I've never been a big fan of physical working out or anything like that, so there was nothing to combat the extra calories I was taking in, especially when my body was so used to not having any before. Now, I didn't balloon up to what I am now, and I will share my weight with you at some point in this video when I get to it. That is going to be hard. I'm telling you now, that will be hard for me to tell you. I don't tell anybody my weight. My boyfriend, I think, is the only person that knows actually how much I weigh, and it wasn't easy for me to share that with him when I started weighing myself either. And he's probably the closest person to me at this point. I love food. I mean, I do. I love food. It got to the point where I was eating and I was thinking about the next thing I was going to eat already. I got to the point where I wouldn't go out with my friends if I didn't have the money to sustain my eating out. because I was afraid I would get hungry and not be able to find any food, and then I'd be upset. I would get angry if I couldn't eat what I wanted to eat. Like, it was a full-blown addiction. It absolutely was. And this is, again, a development over several years, even a decade, I would say. I went from about 103 pounds my junior year of high school into about 135 at the end of my senior year. So I was steadily gaining weight throughout my last year and a half or so of high school, and then it just continued from there. Bad choices, no exercising, 3 children, lots of eating out. Even though I love to cook and I'm a very, very good cook, I still ate out way more than I should have and didn't do anything to combat the calories and the fat and whatnot. And I just let myself get into a very bad position. It ended up that I have several medical conditions that contribute to my weight loss. They are absolutely not the reason that I am fat. Absolutely not. But they do contribute to the fact that it's hard for me when I do get motivated and try to lose weight, that I have trouble with it, causing me to lose motivation and continue my bad habits. And ultimately to use the medical conditions as an excuse to not lose weight rather than something that should be motivating me to overcome my medical conditions to lose the weight. I have hypothyroidism, I have PCOS, and I have insulin resistance, which eventually could turn into diabetes if I'm not careful. So all those things contribute to the fact that I am what I am now. I currently, okay, not currently, let's start a little earlier. I decided in early 2020 that I was going to try and qualify for gastric bypass surgery. I felt I had reached a point where I could not do it on my own, and I needed that tool in my toolbox to help me get to where I was trying to get to with my weight loss goal. So I looked into it. My insurance covered it due to the weight that I currently am at, or was at the time. And I went to the first seminar for it, and I went through all the qualifiers. To get weight loss surgery, you have to meet several qualifiers. You have to have a BMI over a certain amount. That varies from insurance to insurance and doctor to doctor. So if you qualify, you're going to need to contact your local bariatric department and ask them what they recommend. And you also need to contact your insurance and see what their prerequisites are for qualifying for gastric bypass or the sleeve. I had to have 3 nutrition appointments, 1 psychiatric evaluation, a sleep study, and 3 appointments with the general surgeon in order to qualify for bariatric surgery with my insurance. I am proud to say that I have met all those requirements. I completed my psychiatric evaluation. I completed all my nutrition appointments and my appointments with my physician, and I lost the required amount of weight by my surgeon in order to qualify. On February 1st, I went on a serious life change. I clocked in on February 1st at 301 pounds. God, please give me the strength to post this because that is embarrassing. 301 pounds on my 5'3" frame. On top of all the medical conditions I gave you prior, I also have a disability. I am diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and you can look that up. I will leave a link down below if you're interested in what that is. But it's basically a connective joint tissue issue, and long story short, it makes my joints ache terribly. And while I know my weight is absolutely in no way contributed to my Ehlers-Danlos, it does keep me from being any more active than I would like to be. And I know if I got some weight off of my joints, even though I have this condition, I would likely feel better without all the extra pressure. So I definitely am ready. As some of you may or may not know, I've mentioned it before, all 3 of my children are autistic. My youngest child, Grayson, being 6 years old, is the most impacted out of the 3. He is nonverbal, non-communicative, and for lack of a better phrase, will likely be with me for the rest of his life, or at least the rest of mine. I cannot care for him as an adult in this body. So for myself and for my kids, I'm going to go ahead and go through with the gastric bypass, and I'm going to use that as a tool. I know it's not a fix. It's definitely not going to be easy. It's not an easy way out. Everything I had to do have had to change and will have to even further change after my surgery is going to be extremely difficult. I am not embarrassed and I'm not ashamed of needing help. I akin it to the same thing as someone who is depressed or has any other mental disorder trying to get medication to help them with their condition. That is what I am doing. I am finding something that will help me with my condition. And I'm not ashamed to admit that I will be getting a gastric bypass. You will be seeing this Monday morning, the 26th of April. I check into the hospital at 4:30 a.m. to change my life. I anticipate a lot of hard times ahead. I did start off, like I said, February 1st at 301 pounds. I currently sit at 277 pounds. I changed my life drastically, and it's a permanent change for me into, what is it? February, March. In 3 months, I've lost, I don't know, what's 301 minus 277 or whatever. I'm proud of myself and what I've accomplished so far, and I cannot wait to see how much farther gastric bypass changes me. Now, to tie the plants in, I really didn't see a problem until I got more of a collection of plants in my life. I realized caring for my plants, tending to my plants, tending to my children, that I was tired. I get tired so fast. I do 2-3 things and then I have to sit down. What kind of life is that to live? It's sad. It's a sad existence, and I don't want to live it anymore. And please keep in mind, this is my personal experience with being overweight, or what the clinically is called morbid obesity. If you are the same size and height as me and you are happy with your body and you are healthy, or even if you're not healthy, it's none of my business. If you are happy the way you are, please don't feel like I'm saying you have to change because I am changing. You are happy the way you are, then I am happy for you, and I want nothing but the best for you. And I don't really care how much you weigh if you don't. So please don't take this as me saying if you're the same conditions as me, you better get off the couch. That's not what I'm saying. This is for me. I'm ready to make the changes needed. I want to travel with my boyfriend. I want to take my kids to Disneyland and not wonder if there's a bench every 10 steps because I can't walk that far anymore. I want to give my joints as much time to be healthy as I possibly can. I want so many things for myself, and I can't do any of it in this body. I have to sit down 5 or 6 times just to fertilize half of my plants. And that's not something that a 37-year-old woman who is still young should have to do. So I am sharing this horribly embarrassing information with the entirety of the world so that they know they're not alone if they're feeling the same way that I am. And if you're wanting to make a change, if I can do it, you can too. It's hard. There were days where I wanted to quit. There's definitely foods that I wanted to eat that I didn't. There were times that I treated myself. All I did was go on to a calorie deficit. I did not cut out any like major food groups. I didn't go no carb or low carb. I've done that before in the past, and I don't find it sustainable for myself. I also don't believe anything is healthy where you have to cut out an entire macronutrient of food. You know, it's just not for me. So I went on just a calorie deficit. I was consuming around 1,800 calories a day and losing weight pretty regularly and efficiently on that. So I'm happy. But plants did help me realize that with the extra care that was introduced into my life, that I couldn't care for them as much as I wanted to, or as fast as I wanted to, or as often as I wanted to, because my weight was absolutely slowing me down. And it made me realize that I also wasn't caring for my kids as well as I could, because I can't run, I can't jump, I can't crawl, I can't do any of that stuff, and I want to. So here I am, putting all this information, as embarrassing as it is, out into the world, and letting you know this is what's happening, and this is what's going to happen starting on Monday. Right now I'm filming this. It is Friday night. I went to my pre-op appointment this morning. I start a liquid diet Sunday at midnight, and Monday at 4:30 in the morning I check in to change my life. I really appreciate all of you guys sticking around as far as you have. I will give periodic updates, maybe once a month updates or something like that if you guys are interested. I will also be doing updates in my stories on Instagram, so definitely click the link tree down below and join me on Instagram and TikTok. I'll be posting on both, and I am really excited to start this journey, and I really hope that you guys are interested in hearing about it as I go through it. It does make it easier when people are interested in how you're doing, but if you're not interested in this, I understand that as well. You're here for plants, you're not here for my weight. So definitely leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you're interested in stuff like this or if you're not, and I will plan my videos accordingly. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining, and I really appreciate you all being here. I appreciate you being kind as well, because this was very hard for me. So thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day with your plant babies.